Hey you. Hey, what up? Happy Monday. It's a new week, and I'm gonna do a real quick check-in. Real quick check-in. I did not do any lives over the weekend, and to who may have been looking for me, I do apologize. My weekend was pretty nice. I spent both days at the park with my daughter, and I had some pretty interesting experiences each day at the park. And also on Saturday, we went to Harvest Fest here in downtown, and oh, you can see it on camera pretty good. I got my first henna done, and that was quite the experience. I would definitely get it again. Probably next time I'd get it on both hands, but it was nice, and I was excited because I've always wanted to get henna. So I was really glad that she did the design that she did, the flowers that she did, and it still looks pretty good being a couple days old. So I'll take it. And yeah, there's always something interesting and unique that happens to me every single day. So I was honestly just checking in. What else happened to me over the weekend? I got to see two bald eagles, and it was it was beautiful. It was like over a half an hour in the sky. One was flying clockwise, and the other one was flying counterclockwise together. It was like they were dancing. It was just a beautiful sight to watch and see. And then I did research, of course. And so I learned that they were doing thermals, which is their way of circulating the air to create friction and heat underneath their wings, preparing to, what's the word I'm looking for? Soar. Prepare to soar long distances so that they could soar without having to flap their wings to save themselves energy. So I was like, wow, thank you, God, for allowing me to see that. And then I did went into this whole research about eagles. And I learned that eagles are monogamous, and that really touched my heart. And so I was like, oh, I have a newfound love for eagles. I mean, obviously they're beautiful birds to look at, and they were pretty low, so it's like you could see them really up close. And as they were doing the thermals, they were going higher, and then they came down, and then they took off. It was beautiful, and I didn't know that they were monogamous birds, and they have one life partner, and they stay together until one of them dies. And I was like, I had learned, like when people create brands, like entrepreneurs and stuff, they come up with these names for their tribes or whatever group of people that they're trying to build, and most of them create their names from the flocks of said animals. So I was like, oh, maybe eagles could be the next thing that I create and the next tribe of people I create within my brand. Maybe we could be known as convocations because flocks of eagles are known as convocations. And then convocation has this whole meaning of where eagles come together in large groups, but solely for protection or service of like a feast and eating and celebrating. Like they don't come together to just hang out and gossip and flock. And I was like, yeah. So that was beautiful to see. And then that yesterday at the park, there was a big, huge hawk that came down. It was just on the ground, flapping his wings. So over the weekend, I got to see these big, um, beautiful birds. And so I was all caught up on the meetings because I think on Friday I was telling you guys that I had seen two hawks and then one was right by my window. And I was like, what's the chances of seeing two hawks in one day? And so now I keep seeing these big, beautiful birds every single day, which all are grounded in transformation, alignment, all the things that I've been talking about all this year, especially this summer. And it just keeps getting amplified of God is aligning me to launch me into the lifestyle that I have been documenting and being very intentional with. So today I had a pretty amazing day. I got asked out on a date again today. And I'm not thinking about no man. So there's that. I found 40 pennies. I tell you guys my thing with the number 40. I found 40 pennies on the table today. I collected them out of my bag and I had a beautiful conversation with a good friend. Oh, let me update you. So on Friday night, I was supposed to do karaoke and I was going to talk myself out of it, but I ended up going to karaoke. I got dressed. I felt like I looked amazing. And I went, I showed up and I was literally shitting bricks like, why did you sign up for this Indian? And I wasn't gonna go, but then I'm like, nope, you signed up, you committed to it, go. So I went and then I see my friend that I seen today, again today. So we had a long like 2 hour conversation, just sharing experiences and our dreams and just talking about a plethora of things. He apologized to me. He's like, because I went and then he see me, he's like, oh, you really came out, you're gonna do it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And so they never called my name. So I could have been a typical person and I could have been like, oh, this was such a waste of my time and like you see me, you didn't call me up and like I just don't think it operates that way. So I was like, oh, my name wasn't called. So it wasn't meant for me to be not necessarily be there, but it just wasn't meant to happen. But I still ended up having a good time. You know, I don't drink, so I sat at the bar, had three waters and limes, and I listened. I left with a headache, and I'm like, yo, the nightlife is just not for me. So, anyways, I seen him today, and then he apologized. He's like, yo, I'm so sorry because the person that was hosting kind of went unorthodox. Like instead of going through the list of people that signed up for karaoke, he was just letting anybody like not going on the list and just letting whoever wanted to sing on demand. And he was like, I apologize because I kept telling him to call your name, call your name, call your name because I knew you were there. And I was like, oh, it just wasn't meant to be. So it is what it is. And so I didn't get to do karaoke, but I did go and I had a pretty great time. Then I went back. You know what's funny is that that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not thinking about no man. Like my friend that I live with, they thought I was going out on a date because I didn't say nothing because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna do karaoke tonight because I was not sure if I was gonna do it, and so I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing. And then when they see me leaving out the house, they're like, where you going? You got a date? And I'm like, no, I ain't getting up, getting dressed to go see no man. What the heck? They always think I'm going on a date, and I have no interest and dating at this point in my life. So I was like, no, and I didn't tell them where I was going. So the next day they're like, oh, tell us, like, how was your date? And I was like, I told y'all I didn't go on a date. And so I was like, I signed up for karaoke, blah, blah, blah. And when I was there, I had such a good time. But when I left, I was like, oh, the nightlife is not for me because I had such a headache. And I'm telling you, I've only been out this year 2 times. And it's been at the same place, ironically. But it was to go to listen to a band. So the first time I went to go listen to my favorite band, Mulatto, here, and then this time I went to go do karaoke with my second favorite band, TMC, here. And each time that I went out, I was just thinking about my baby, even though she's sleeping. I'm like, I just want to be at home with my kid. You know, I don't like nightlife is not for me. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm not trying to get shit faced. I'm not trying to listen to loud music. So I was like, and the first time I went out, I had a beer, and I was like, this time I didn't drink anything, and I still felt the same way. I wanted to get back to my baby. I wanted to get back home, And I'm just like, I don't like the nightlife. The nightlife is not for me. And each time that I've been out, these two times, any other time my daughter, if she doesn't sleep in the bed with me and she sleeps in the bunk bed, if I don't go anywhere, which I normally don't, it's happened like almost like snow is coming down. Which, if I'm there, she sleeps throughout the night. The two times that I've been out, that's why I was like, this is a sign. The two times that I've been out, but when I get back in the room, my daughter gets out of the bed and she comes. She just instantly wakes up and she comes and lays with me. And so I was like, that's a sign of like whatever I'm trying to do. I think that's why the karaoke didn't work out. Like whatever I'm trying to do, like I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be resting and rejuvenating and reflecting because my life is about to change in a very big, drastic way. And I'm supposed to be resting, recuperating, enjoying the space me and my daughter are sharing right now, and getting ready to be launched to our per acme. So like trying to go out. That's why I'm telling my friend like I have no interest in dating. I'm definitely not interested in no man because a man just tried to kill me and my kid. So dating is the farthest thing from my head. I'm not getting up to get dressed to go meet somebody. It definitely ain't meeting no man at nighttime. I'm not a roach. I just have a whole different perspective on life and everything. So I was like, Dad, like each time I've been out, my daughter, as soon as I come back, she comes and lays with me. And if I don't go nowhere, she don't do that unless she's already sleeping with me. And when she's sleeping with me, she reaches out for me when we're already together. But those two times, she knows I wasn't there. She just knows, and then she comes and she almost like comforts and hugs me, and it's almost like we're all that we need, if that makes sense. So that was my weekend. What's up? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for watching, listening. I didn't really have a topic because I got on super late and I only have a couple minutes because I gotta get my daughter soon. But that was pretty much it. I did some research on Dallas, Texas again today. It's very prominent that I'm moving to Dallas, Texas. And yeah, I got an amazing gift from Katarina here today at the library. Every time I come in here, she always teaches me something new and she always gifting me something. So she gifted me a beautiful gift today. She ordered me these books. Hi, how are you, Ariana? And I'm excited. I came across these books and I was like, Dad, I'm gonna see if the library has them. And they're not here. They're coming all the way from Boston. So she was like, give it over a week. So I'm gonna get these books. What's up, Wayne? I don't know. The bees are kind of like going underground now because it's getting colder here. But there was some out earlier, and they were around me. I don't see none or feel none right now today. It's kind of windy here, and the sun is hiding behind the clouds. So, do I have kids that play Roblox? No, I have a 5-year-old, and definitely doesn't play Roblox, so she's not into that at this point in time. They want some of my honey. You know what? When I was doing my research on Dallas, Texas today, and I'm like so obsessed with this Victor apartment place that I found, and their entrance their entrance is a honeycomb. So I was like, that's a sign. Because I've been surrounded by bees. Yeah, and then right here on this painting. Oh, I meant to ask Katarina about this painting. There's the bees painted on the back of the library right here. So I don't know if they want my honey or anything. I just know that it's signs and symbols for transformation and perseverance and abundance when I like research it. So but yeah, only this morning, like one or two bees were around me, but not OD like how it was. What's your ETA for your move? I don't have an ETA. God's gonna move me there on God's time. in my if I'm telling you what I feel that God is going to keep us here for my daughter to finish out school. June of 2026 is very prominent for a lot of things that have happened. I don't have the time to elaborate on that. But if I'm going on my timeline, I'd say June of 2026. But God time, it could be sooner, it could be after that. I definitely feel that me and my daughter, she's gonna finish out school here this year, and then we're gonna be starting at a new school for the following year because every single year we've started at a new school. I haven't had the traditional normal setting for school with my daughter. Every single year we're in kindergarten now. We've been or we're at a new school again. You said that's feasible. You could do it. Yeah, I definitely believe that I could do it, and I definitely believe that we're just gonna finish out the year here and start our new lives. And I have a couple things that I have to do here before I leave. So everything is on God's timing. God's going to bless me, and when He blesses me, I have to bless a few people here before I move on with my life. So only a couple of months away, and I'm just grateful for every day I wake up. I pray over me, I pray over my daughter, and I pray for God to bless me with a miraculous, mind blowing miracle. And I get all these many little miracles that happen throughout the day. So I just, yeah, make your plan and work your plan. For sure, I am making my plan. I journal. I carry my journals around with me every day. And that's why I was saying I'm researching and I'm writing things and connecting the dots and putting everything on paper because that's how you manifest is you put things on paper first. Once you write it down, real ish starts to happen. So I'm just in alignment with what God tells me to do. When God tells me to research something, when He tells me to look up something, I did a whole live about how God had me research penthouses and look up the word penthouse and the origin and everything. And I had this mind blowing. I did a whole live on it. It was amazing. So I'm just enjoying life. The weather here is nice. It just got windy. It was like really humid all day, and then it got windy and the sun's kind of hiding. But that's it. But how are you doing today? How are y'all doing? Y'all talking to me? But you didn't tell me. How's your day? How was your weekend? I only got a couple minutes. What's new in your life? What what blessings did you experience? What kind of anything fun, interesting? What's up? Good, good. Just working. Okay. I'm glad that everything's good, 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 and that you working, staying busy. Well, okay, never mind. I'm glad that you're good. I don't have time to like go do a deep dive and kind of give you that thought provoking. I was gonna say something about how I said that I'm glad you're staying busy. I wanted to reword that because I don't like the word busy. But anywho, I'm glad that you're doing good. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm trying to think, was there anything else that happened to me over the weekend that I wanted to share or anything today? It was just a pretty chill day today. Yes, indeed, need that check. Yeah, for sure. Oh, you know the thing about working real fast is my mindset has just been shifted and it's been stretched beyond its potential. So when I started entrepreneurship, I've learned so many things about business. One is one thing that I learned that sticks with me is we're conditioned to like work, 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 and work for a week or 2 weeks before we get a check. And then we're working or waiting and anticipating that check, and then we become dependent on the check, which nothing is wrong with the check, but something's very wrong with us working every day and not being paid every day. And when I first heard that concept, I was like, yeah, that is kind of wild. Like, I, if we work every day, we should get paid every single day. And the only way that you could do that is by creating something that you could physically sell so that you could get paid every time you sold it. And then there's so many other ways now with the internet and AI and all that stuff that you can just make money in your sleep. But I always think of I always think of that of yeah, like how did the world condition us? School. That's why I say my messages at the end because there is a conditioning that happens that society tries to create for you to live in, and then the programming that we go with the school and work, it programs us to live this certain way and get adapted to working without being paid. Even though we work every day, you don't get paid every day. And so that my mindset has just been shifted by that. Like if I work today, I better be getting paid today. Like it wasn't until I started selling things that when I did work, you condense time. So you could make your paycheck in a couple of hours by creating something and selling it. And then you could pretty much make your paycheck or more in less time. And that was my goal when I was working and nursing. I'm like, why am I becoming a nurse to still work 12-hour shifts? Like that didn't make no sense to me. So it was a whole thing. So definitely get your check, get your money. I just want you to think about that. If you're working every day, you should be getting paid every day. And not to say like quit your job or like don't work. It's just start shifting your mindset and then start figuring out like because when you clock out of your day job, you now become your own boss. And like what you do when you're not at work and how you work with the time that you have after your hours work is how you can create your own lifestyle and create and condense the time for you so that you're no longer just working for money or working for hours per dollar. You can start working dollars per hour, if that makes sense. Which when you work dollars per hour, you have a set goal of how much you want to make in the hour versus working a job that pays you per hour to do a plethora of things in the hour. And a lot of the things don't always necessarily line up within your job description. I could do like hours and hours and hours on that. When I get into that mode, when I get back into my teaching mode, I'll do a lot of heavy content about work and wages and profits and mindset behind that, the theory of like what we're taught and how you should reprogram yourself to free yourself and buy back your time and have money work for you instead of working for money. But at this point, I'm just getting on here to talk and show up and be consistent and shoot the ish while also always having a teachable moment because I'm always using something as a teachable moment. So I guess I'm always teaching, but with a focus on the consistency of like every time I'm getting on teaching about this for a period of time and then move on to something else in this period of time. I will get back to that when life allows me to really tap into that the way that I want to. But get your money, get your check, keep working, keep yourself occupied, not necessarily busy, if that makes sense. And thank you for tuning in and checking in. I gotta go. I got 5 minutes, so I'll leave you with my heartfelt messages that are near and dear to my heart and from directly from my life, my experiences, my struggles, and my trauma. And I hope that it creates thoughts first and helps you to at some point in time create action in your life so that you learn from me and condense time for yourself in a shorter amount of time period that it took for me to learn these lessons. So with that being said, number one, do not allow anyone to label you, including yourself, because those who try to label you want you to live in lack and limitation and not in your purpose. They see something in you that they don't want you to see in yourself, which is usually your gift, the thing that makes you purposeful, they don't want you to tap into that and live a life of abundance. They want you to live with the label. They want you to wake up and live and lead with the label so that you will feel left out. You will feel limited. Number two, don't ever, 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 ever let anybody put you in a box, because those who try to put you in a box is simply because they cannot get out of theirs. And if you allow somebody to put you in a box, they then will try to put you in a ditch. Ask me how I know. And three, don't forget to turn your life into a lifestyle. And the way that you turn your life into a lifestyle is simply by taking your life into your own hands and participating in your own rescue and saving yourself. Because absolutely, positively, nobody is coming to save you. You must save yourself. And if you take the time to tap into yourself more and out of the world less, you in return will save yourself from living the life of the consequence, which is living the life that your parents want you to live, living the life that society tries to create for you to live within, and living the life that the school systems and the job systems try to program you to live within. And you were not simply born to work a job, pay bills, and die. I want you to wholeheartedly understand that. That is not what you were born for. You were born for a purpose. We all were born for a purpose. We all were born to make the world a better place. And the best way to figure out which your purpose is by figuring out what problem you were born to solve. The world is full of problems, and everybody is here to contribute in one way, shape, or form. So the sooner you figure out what problem you were born to solve, the sooner you will automatically live in your purpose, and you will just be giving that life of abundance, prosperity, and a life of luxury. So that's how you turn your life into a lifestyle. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of the day, just in case I can't get back on live later. And don't forget, you are both a limited edition and an endangered species. So start acting like it.